Here is the express printing bout of the evening. Andrei SOUKHAMTHATH coming in at 7-1 with 4 knockouts, weighing in at 135 at the weigh-in, and he takes on the dangerous up-and-coming KIN MOY of Cambridge, Mass. He comes in at 4-0 with 1 knockout. Could be the fight of the night on deck. Stay tuned. Well, this is the bout most of this arena has been waiting for tonight. SOUKHAMTHATH taking on KIN MOY, quite possibly one of the fights of the year on deck right now. SOUKHAMTHATH coming out, of course, in the brown trunks, KIN MOY in the white. Pat, what can we expect tonight?
Tonight we're going to test both fighters on how well-rounded they are. Andrei, KIN MOY, two of the most highly respected bantamweights, not only in the region but anywhere around. They're putting it all on the line here against each other. Andrei usually trains out of Triforce, has now gone down to the Black Zillions to broaden his game. KIN MOY out of Redline, we saw his teammate Matt Doherty look very good tonight. He has a lot of bantamweights that he trains with who are on the top of the ranks. So we're going to see a fight of two strong competitors here, and we're going to see which fighter really is more well-rounded.
SOUKHAMTHATH with that rare leg kick gets KIN MOY down immediately, now trying to get full mount. KIN MOY trying to soften him up with those left hands, trying to get SOUKHAMTHATH back up off him. Early action here in round number 1, and of course this is a big step up for KIN MOY, no doubt about it. Only 4 pro fights under his belt, taking on the winningest fighter in CES history, but no hesitation whatsoever by his part taking this fight.
This is a fight he actually wanted. When asked about fighting for CES again, he said he wanted to fight Andrei. No disrespect, he just wanted to fight him to challenge himself against the best. He believed that Andrei was the best, and Kin, certainly we're going to see how good he is tonight when he fights a guy, Andrei, who not only has his skills improved since he made his pro debut, he's won 7 fights in a row here at Twin River Casino, in the same venue, in this cage, in front of these same fans. This is home for Andrei. KIN MOY now in some dangerous territory here in Lincoln, Rhode Island, although he did bring a pretty good fan base.
SOUKHAMTHATH with 2 big takedowns right away, another takedown on the leg kick, and then he just takes down KIN MOY when they both got back to their feet. He looked sharp early on, Pat. I think KIN MOY, being in such a big fight, might have to just settle down a bit and just make his nerves just get intact and just settle into a groove here and not try to overextend himself.
What we're going to see also tonight, Mike, is how good each fighter is going the distance. Andrei, 7-1, again, 7 wins in a row here for CES. Only 1 decision against Blair Tugman. KIN MOY, 4-0 with 3 submissions. Neither fighter is used to going the distance or fighting the whole 15 rounds. Matter of fact, neither fighter really is used to getting to the 2nd round, let alone getting to the 3rd or to a final decision. So if this fight does progress the way we expect, and both fighters lay it all on the line and put it all out there, we're going to see which fighter is the better fighter for 15 whole minutes.
Nice job by KIN MOY to work his way back to his feet. SOUKHAMTHATH trying to spin him back around and get the takedown a second time. And it's a great point by you, Pat. No matter how hard you train for a 2nd, 3rd round for going the distance, it's not the same as actually being in that cage with the fatigue setting in with somebody trying to take your head off and trying to go 3 full rounds. Now KIN MOY trying to work his way back to the center of the cage, let his hands go a bit, delivers a rare leg kick.
One thing Andrei does have in his favor, he's a more active fighter, Mike. He fights more often, more frequently than KIN MOY. This is now his 8th professional fight in 2 years and his 3rd in the last 6 months. Andrei coming off a few first-round knockouts and submissions, so he's feeling confident. He's riding the momentum right now. And, you know, you win a couple fights by first round, you get right back in the gym. You don't get hurt or touched or phased in those fights. He's ready to go in now his 3rd fight in 6 months. We're going to see if maybe any fatigue from that sets in.
SOUKHAMTHATH with another takedown here. Just under 2 minutes to go in round number 1. It's been SOUKHAMTHATH's round here early on, no question. He's been in control. Now lands a right hand on the way upstairs. And again, I think KIN MOY just needs to settle in. It's a big fight. Nerves is certainly a factor. He's taking some shots here. Some rights and lefts by SOUKHAMTHATH, but he's striking back. He's fighting back just as hard.
MOY doing very good with his back up against the cage. Andrei came in throwing some punches and knees, and KIN MOY did not hesitate to swing right back.
And again, KIN MOY finds himself on his rear end with the back to the cage. 1:13 to go in round number 1. Good opening round for SOUKHAMTHATH, but KIN MOY is showing nice composure here down the stretch as well. So we'll see if that plays a factor as we get into round 2, if it does get that far, if KIN MOY can turn the tide a bit.
KIN MOY, a very smart fighter. You saw as he went down to the mat there with Andrei, he put his arm right underneath his neck. He was looking up at the clock, looking up at his coaches for instructions. Very smart fighter, KIN MOY.
SOUKHAMTHATH doing a nice job with those left jabs, trying to land the right cross on the way out. He struck with a couple of those jabs. Now KIN MOY tries to go upstairs. Both fighters back to the canvas. MOY on top for a bit, 30 seconds, a chance to do something here. in the closing seconds of this opening round.
Last time CES fans saw KIN MOY, it was here in this cage against Dennis Paiva last April. A fight that he won by second round submission. He then went on to defeat Kirk Chase Patrick by second round decision, another fighter that Andre SOUKHAMTHATH also defeated. Only one opponent in common for these two fighters.
SOUKHAMTHATH reversing and slamming Moy down to the canvas in the closing seconds. A great way to punctuate a strong opening round for the Asian sensation. And that will do it for round number 1. So just as we expected, a lot of action in round 1 between SOUKHAMTHATH and KIN MOY. Let's listen into KIN MOY's corner now between rounds.
Transportation provider, limousine provider, CES MMA. Celebrity Limo owns the world's largest and most executive SUV limousines. For more information on exclusive VIP packages, check out CelebrityLimousineWorldwide.com.
You hear KIN MOY's corner saying more volume, high, low, try to work upstairs, try to work to the body. You didn't see a lot of activity from Moy in terms of letting his hands go, which is tough to do when SOUKHAMTHATH's getting so many takedowns.
Andre also 4 inches taller, has a little longer of a reach than KIN MOY. Regardless, Mike, we've really seen a lot out of Andre in the past 2 years. We've seen a lot of exciting fights. We've seen in his last fight, his opponent ended up losing the fight by throwing up in between rounds. Andre really just laid a beating onto him. And you see right now, Andre with his hands on his head. Wonder if now maybe Andre's feeling a little fatigued. He's never had to fight around like he just did in that first round. And this certainly is going to be his toughest fight to date.
That's a great point, Pat. That was as exhausting a opening round for Andre SOUKHAMTHATH. Even when he was in complete control, it took everything out of him to keep KIN MOY at bay. So we'll see if that does play a factor. Round 2 underway. SOUKHAMTHATH in the brown trunks, KIN MOY in the white. Both fighting in the bantamweight division. Oh, nice left hand by SOUKHAMTHATH. His second left that just sneaks in. We'll see if KIN MOY shows more volume, as we noted from his corner. Between rounds, now SOUKHAMTHATH gets the takedown.
He did get the takedown, Mike, but KIN did a very good job of, scoot all the way back to that cage.
It certainly limits what SOUKHAMTHATH can do in this position when KIN MOY does have his back to the cage. If you're in the center of the canvas, you get a lot more room to operate with. And at this point now, it's just kind of a stalemate with KIN MOY just raining down those elbows and fists on his midsection. Not much doing here in the opening minute.
No, but you see how aggressive KIN MOY is. Andre may take him down. As soon as he hits him back, KIN MOY backs right into the cage and then starts swinging those elbows and those fists. KIN MOY, what I've been most impressed with so far is the way that he counters with Andre. You see Andre gets him up against the cage and starts swinging. You see it right here. Andre goes again to hit him, and KIN MOY blocks it by throwing another punch.
A big left by SOUKHAMTHATH with the flying knee following it, and then he gets another takedown. But again, like you said, KIN MOY remains aggressive in this position.
Interesting, Mike. All 3 times thus far that Andre's been able to take KIN MOY down to the mat, KIN managed to get his arm underneath Andre's neck every single time.
It's kind of similar to the way he ended the Dennis Paiva bout, where Paiva was in control for a pretty strong portion of that fight until KIN MOY got the submission. Paiva left himself unprotected and KIN MOY took advantage. And I don't know if SOUKHAMTHATH will make that same mistake. He's a more seasoned fighter, but it's certainly worth noting it's part of KIN MOY's strategy, to say the least. 3 minutes to go in round number 2 of the scheduled 3-round bantamweight bout.
Andre again undefeated here at CES in this very cage. And in those fights, Mike, Andre never really in any sort of trouble. His only decision was against Blair Tugman, a fight where Andre was in control for most of that fight. All the other fights ending in knockout or submission.
Now KIN MOY with the nice left hand as he gets back to his feet. Momentarily stopping SOUKHAMTHATH in his tracks. SOUKHAMTHATH again going for the takedown. Moy fights back with the knee. And he tries to hook SOUKHAMTHATH's left leg, but to no avail. One thing SOUKHAMTHATH has done is he's gotten the takedowns, but hasn't done a whole lot when he's been down to the canvas. And that could be a factor too. If KIN MOY can survive this onslaught and at least drain some of SOUKHAMTHATH's energy, he may be able to take over later in this fight if it does get that far.
Again, Andre diving in for another takedown. KIN MOY doing a good job to use the cage, and there you see he does get taken down.
But again, as he's done the entire fight, KIN MOY remains active while he's on his back or while he has his back to the cage. It's just soft lefts and rights. You don't think they do much, but they do soften you up, and it keeps the referee at least at bay for a bit and allows him to work himself or work his own way up off the cage. And now Moy in a good spot here, trying to take Soukhamthath's back if he can.
I'm going to love the aggressiveness of KIN MOY. Whether he's being taken down or whether he's on top, he's going to be punching or throwing knees, whatever he can to get any sort of advantage here. Now you see him trying to take the back of Andre.
He's at least done that, but he doesn't have a choke in of any sort. Soukhamthath doing a nice job just keeping his chin tucked to his chest, trying to avoid the same fate that Dennis Paiva suffered in the bout against KIN MOY last year. 48 seconds to go. Good spot here for KIN MOY to do some damage. It's been a close round. It could go either way, and this last minute could determine how it swings in the judges' favor.
Certainly has been a very close round, Mike. Andre with 2 or 3 takedowns already. However, you're right, Kin doing more once being taken down than Andre.
KIN MOY just driving lefts and rights. Soukhamthath not really defending him. They're not doing a ton of damage here. You look, he's just landing on the temple cleanly, right on the forehead and again to the nose.
Andre's got to do something to get out of this position.
He at least gets his head down closer to the canvas. KIN MOY just shoves him back in, and now both fighters get back to their feet. Final 30 seconds of round 2. And it appears they may let their hands go before the bell. And that'll do it. So another close round, Pat. Well, I should say a close round. Round 1 appeared to be certainly in Soukhamthath's favor. This one could have gone either way. I thought KIN MOY finished a little bit stronger.
Listening here to Andre's corner and maybe some advice to go into the 3rd and final round. See where they see the fight.
In a respectful manner tonight. This is your home, so please treat it as such. And don't hesitate to contact the nearest Twin River staff member in the event of emergency. Be responsible, stay safe.
You can see the bruising under Soukhamthath's eyes, probably a direct result from that final 48 seconds or so where KIN MOY was just unloading flurries from behind.
You got to be careful if you're Andre. In a very close round like that, the judges may score it towards the more aggressive, the more active fighter. Well, Andre had the takedowns in that round. Once he took them down, Kin was the more aggressive fighter. You saw the last minute and a half when he had Andre's back in the corner. He was throwing the punches, and Andre, at some points, wasn't even defending him. He was letting the punches just rock off his temple. Eventually, he was able to get out of it, but then KIN MOY took his back. So KIN MOY is certainly the more aggressive, more active fighter in that round. And you got to wonder right now where Andre's cardio is. You know, he did most of his camp down in Florida, came up to finish his camp up here in Providence. Says he had a very good camp. He looked good at the weigh-ins yesterday. It didn't look like he had to cut a ton of weight. But now we're going to see really what it's like in a 15-minute fight for Andre Soukhamthath, who has only done it once in 9 pro fights. We're going to see where his cardio is right now as he goes for another takedown.
And that was in his pro debut, which he lost to Robbie Slade a couple of years back. So since then, he's won his last 7 fights. And again, it's a good point by you. He did have to cut camp short to come up north, back to Rhode Island from Florida. Whether or not that plays a factor, we don't know, but I think KIN MOY might have done enough in the end of that 2nd round to take that round, and we could very well be looking at an even fight here going into this critical 3rd and final round. Soukhamthath again with the early takedown, kind of a replay of the beginning of round 2 right here.
I agree, Mike. This has now become a 5-minute fight. It's really the 3rd round. Whoever wins this round probably is going to take home the decision. If it goes to a decision, it still is 4 minutes left, and now you see Andre being a little more active than he had been in the 1st and 2nd round.
This one's been as good as advertised. KIN MOY, Andre Soukhamthath for a bantamweight supremacy. Just 1 minute here into round number 1. We got 4 minutes to go. Anything can happen here down the stretch. And we'll see who is the aggressor. Now KIN MOY trying to reverse and possibly at least work the body, work upstairs and try to soften Andre's defense. And maybe go for a guillotine here. I don't know if he's got it in deep enough, Pat. In any event, not a good spot here for Andre Soukhamthath with a lot of time left in round 3 to say the least.
You certainly don't want to be in this spot only a minute and a half into the 3rd and final round. It's such a very close fight. It doesn't appear to see that he's cutting off any circulation or that he has that in too tight. You see him let go, really just wasting his time there if he wasn't able to get it in. And Andre now trying to take the back of the Kin, who does a good job of flipping him over, and now jumping into his guard.
And now a counter reversal by KIN MOY for a second there. It looked like Soukhamthath might have his back. KIN MOY flips, and now he's on top of Soukhamthath. And he has a chance here to do some damage with some short elbows if he can execute. We saw that at the end of round 2, just those lefts and rights coming in from the side. And now you see Moy trying to work that left elbow.
Moy certainly looks pretty good this round, being more aggressive, pushing the pace here of the final 5 minutes. And interesting, you can see how intense this crowd is. When you look out in the crowd, everyone has their phone out, everyone's taking video of this. People right now are just excited to be part of such a great fight between probably the two best bantamweights in the region right now, in KIN MOY and Andre SOUKHAMTHATH. Hats off to both fighters for taking a fight like this at an early stage in their career.
No question, this is what you would expect when you put two fighters of this caliber against one another. You know it's going to be close, you know it's going to be hard fought, and certainly the fatigue setting in for both sides. But right now, SOUKHAMTHATH does appear to be a bit gassed. He's not doing much here in this spot, Pat. KIN MOY doesn't have a whole lot working as well, but at the very least, he's on top, he's in control, and right now he's in control of this third round.
We also have to look at submission attempts. This is the third time in the first 3 minutes of this final round where KIN MOY has gone for at least some sort of submission or some sort of hold. And he may not have it, but he is certainly looking for it and aggressive, and that plays a big role in the eyes of the judges when it's such a close round like this.
You're right, even if he can't get that submission, there's not much SOUKHAMTHATH can do right here to take the round while he's on his back, so KIN MOY does have this in his favor. We'll see if he goes with the volume of punches, and here we see it get started. Couple of left hands, SOUKHAMTHATH doing a nice job. He rolls back over but gives him his back, so it kind of ends up being counterproductive.
Again, now fourth time this round where Moy looking for a finish.
Moy has certainly been in control. There's only a minute left. We'll see if that desperation sinks in for SOUKHAMTHATH. He may need a strong finish here, Pat, to take this one.
In this entire fight, Mike, every time Moy has had Andre in any sort of position, every time Andre's taken Moy down, Moy's been aggressive. He's been active. Every time Andre was in a position on the ground, didn't seem like there was that sense of urgency, like he was trying to pull anything off very quickly against Moy. Moy was quicker to the trigger to be able to get something done, and that may be why he's taking home this fight tonight, if he can survive the next 30 seconds here.
And again, Moy just pushes down that right arm by SOUKHAMTHATH and just lands some more rights. Now SOUKHAMTHATH reverses. He's on top, but again, KIN MOY's the one doing all the punching, Pat, and dropping some elbows in. 18 seconds to go. Big finish here for both sides.
There's 15 seconds there, Mike, where KIN MOY threw about 10 punches and elbows. Andre threw one, and Andre was in the top position.
And that may be what the judges see when it's all said and done. And it appears, barring any quick knockout, that this will, in fact, go the distance. 3 rounds in the books. SOUKHAMTHATH and KIN MOY. What a fight, Pat. I'll tell you what, this may go to KIN MOY in the end. He was, like you said, the aggressor for most of the fight.
Great fight by two of the best fighters in the region, Andre SOUKHAMTHATH and KIN MOY. They really left it all in the cage. The first round, I agree. I think Andre may have won that round. KIN MOY, very solid second round. And that third round, I mean, you had to give it to KIN MOY. He was aggressive. He went for more finishes. And you can tell right now, just by the look on their face, KIN MOY is excited. He's bouncing around. He's feeling confident. And Andre, for the first time in CES history, we see him with his hands on his hips, awaiting a decision, maybe questioning whether he won that fight or not, or if there was something that he could have done perhaps in that third round. Nonetheless, this is what happens when you leave it up to the judges. Neither fighter has the win yet. It's up to those 3 men sitting on the high stools, so we'll see what those gentlemen think.
No doubt a rare look of uncertainty for Andre SOUKHAMTHATH. KIN MOY excited. It was a fight as good as advertised. Now let's send it down to get the official decision.
We have gone to the scorecards, and we have a decision. All 3 judges scored about 29-28 in favor of your winner by unanimous decision,